Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up, because what I'm about to reveal will blow your mind and leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about the Vaughn saga. Imagine this. The very person closest to Lil Durk, his own brother, is now at the center of an explosive scandal that could rewrite the entire narrative of Vaughn's tragic death. Yes, you heard that right. A leaked audio tape, so damning it's shaking the streets and courtrooms alike, has just surfaced, exposing secrets darker than a midnight alley. What if I told you this isn't just a case of brotherly betrayal, but a carefully orchestrated cover-up designed to protect powerful players behind the scenes? Who really pulled the strings? Who's hiding behind the curtains? And how deep does this rabbit hole go? This isn't your typical drama. This is a full-blown conspiracy, and it's about to get uglier than ever. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll be questioning loyalties, uncovering hidden agendas, and maybe even wondering if the truth is too dangerous for the world to handle. Are you ready to dive into the scandal that nobody dared to expose? Until now, let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, hold tight, because this story is about to turn the hip-hop world upside down. We're talking about betrayal secrets and an explosive audio leak that could very well be the biggest bombshell in recent music history. At the center of it all, none other than Lil Durk's own brother, a man who just went from being family to the #1 suspect in a plot thicker than any rap beef we've ever seen. For years, the tragic death of King Von has haunted fans, friends, and the entire Chicago rap scene. A murder that shocked the streets, sparked endless rumors, and left everyone asking one key question: who really pulled the trigger? Well, buckle up, because the answers that are now leaking are more jaw-dropping than anyone could have imagined. You see, what started as whispers in dark corners has exploded into a full-on scandal after an anonymous source dropped an audio recording that paints a much darker picture, one that involves deception, cover-ups, and a possibility that Vaughn's death was not just a tragic incident, but meticulously planned setup. Who exactly is this brother? What role did he play? And why is this audio leak shaking up everything we thought we knew? Before we get into the juicy details, let's rewind and take a look at the players involved, the history, and why this scandal is bigger than just family drama. First up, Durk's brother, a figure who, until recently, flew under the radar. But as the old saying goes, the closer you are to fire, the hotter it burns. Known for his close ties to some of Chicago's most notorious circles, this brother has always been a shadowy figure, moving behind the scenes while Lil Durk rose to fame. But insiders have hinted that his role went beyond just family loyalty. Whispers of involvement in shady deals, questionable alliances, and a penchant for stirring trouble have followed him for years. Remember those times when certain rumors just wouldn't die? When leaks would mysteriously vanish? Yeah, those weren't coincidences. And then there's King Von himself, a rising star whose brutal murder left the city reeling. Von wasn't just a rapper. He was a symbol, a storyteller from the streets, whose words resonated with thousands. His death was more than a headline. It was a wound in the heart of the community. Everyone wanted justice, but the truth? It was elusive. Official stories conflicted. Witnesses changed their testimonies, and some crucial evidence seemed to disappear into thin air. It was like someone was rewriting the script behind the scenes. And now, this explosive audio leak might just be the key to unlocking what really happened. Let's talk about that audio. Our anonymous source, who claims to be deeply connected to the inner circles, provided a recording that allegedly features conversations between Durk's brother and other undisclosed individuals. The content? Chilling. The tone? Calculated. The implications? Devastating. In the recording, you can hear discussions that suggest a deliberate orchestration of events designed to divert blame, silence witnesses, and protect higher-ups. The words drip with cold strategy, as if Vaughn's death was just another move in a dangerous game of power and survival. This isn't just speculation anymore. This is a direct challenge to the official narrative. The audio reveals admissions of knowing about potential threats, plans to manipulate evidence, and even bribery attempts to keep key players quiet. We're talking about a scandal that implicates not only family ties, but also the very institutions meant to serve justice. Corruption, cover-ups, and collusion all wrapped up in a deadly package. And while this is going on, the public reaction has been explosive. Fans flooded social media with outrage, disbelief, and theories that are sparking debates everywhere from YouTube comment sections to street corners. Some are calling it the biggest betrayal in hip-hop history. Others are demanding immediate investigations. And a few, well, they're just waiting to see who else will fall next. The pressure is mounting, and the spotlight is now on everyone involved. What's even more mind-blowing is a lavish lifestyle that Durk's brother has been flaunting in the midst of all this chaos. Leaked bank statements, insider reports, and eyewitness accounts paint a picture of someone who's been cashing in big time. Money that some say could only come from very questionable sources. Private jets, luxury cars, designer everything, all while the city mourns a lost star and demands answers. How does someone involved in such a deadly scandal afford to live like a king? That's the million-dollar question. And it doesn't stop there. Our deep dive investigation uncovered alleged connections between Durk's brother and some high-profile figures with vested interests in keeping the truth buried. It's a tangled web of influence, intimidation, and silence that stretches far beyond Chicago. If these claims hold water, it means the entire narrative around Von's death has been manipulated by those pulling strings behind the curtain. But who are these shadowy players? Sources hint at involvement from rival factions, corrupt officials, and maybe even people within the music industry itself. Those who benefit from keeping the drama alive and the truth suppressed. The stakes couldn't be higher. If these explosive details come to light fully, we might be witnessing a game-changing moment in hip-hop history, where truth battles power in a high-stakes showdown. Now imagine the fallout. The court cases, the media frenzy, the furious fans demanding justice and transparency. And right in the middle of this storm is Durk's brother, whose reputation is crumbling faster than a cookie in milk. People who once considered him untouchable are now questioning everything. Friends are distancing themselves. Sponsors are getting cold feet. And the industry insiders who backed him are looking for a way out. What's really haunting about this entire scandal is how it highlights the dangerous intersection of loyalty, crime, and fame. When family becomes entangled with secrets too dark to share, the consequences are devastating. Von's death was a tragedy, yes. But it now seems it was also the centerpiece of a calculated scheme involving the very people who should have been protecting him. Before we dive deeper in part 2, here's a question for you. How far would someone go to protect their name? To silence the truth? To rewrite history? And what does it say about the world we live in when the people closest to us could be the ones orchestrating the biggest betrayals? Hold on tight, because we're just getting started. In the next part, we're going to break down that scandal like never before, leaked reports, public reactions, and the shocking details that will make your head spin. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Hold on tight, because we're just getting started. In the last part, we uncover how Durk's brother went from a shadowy family figure to the epicenter of a scandal that's rattling the entire hip-hop community. Now, let's dig even deeper into the explosive audio leak, the shocking public reactions, and the wild allegations that have everyone talking. So what exactly does this audio tape reveal? Our anonymous source provided us with a transcript and insider commentary, which paint a picture darker than a midnight heist. According to the recording, Durk's brothers heard discussing plans to mislead law enforcement by planting false evidence and pressuring witnesses to change their stories. But wait, it gets worse. There's talk of bribery involving hefty sums of cash, luxury cars, and even properties, all intended to ensure silence among those who knew too much. One particular segment of the tape stands out. A chilling moment where Durk's brother mocks the idea of street justice while outlining a cold strategy to manipulate the investigation. They think this is some game, but I control the board, he says in the recording, dripping with arrogance. If this isn't the blueprint for a cover-up, what is? But the leaks don't stop there. Our investigation uncovered a series of suspicious financial transactions linked to Durk's brother's accounts. Hundreds of thousands of dollars moving through shell companies and offshore accounts, all disguised as business expenses. Luxury cars bought in cash, a private jet leased under a false name, and exotic vacations that would make even the biggest influencers jealous. All this while the streets are mourning King Von and demanding justice. Public outrage exploded as soon as fragments of the audio leak surfaced online. Twitter timelines flooded with hashtags like hashtag Durk's brother exposed, hashtag Von Justice Now, and hashtag cover up scandal. Fans, music insiders, and even some industry veterans took to social media to voice their disbelief and demand accountability. An anonymous source close to the family said, "It's heartbreaking. Vaughn was like a brother to all of us. And now to hear this betrayal, it's like a punch in the gut. We trusted the family to stand for him, not to be part of the problem." Adding fuel to the fire, some street commentators pointed out the glaring contradictions between Durk's public image and his brother's alleged involvement in this scandal. It's like watching a reality show unfold in real life. One social media influencer said, "The guy who was supposed to have Lil Durk's back might have been pulling the strings behind the scenes all along." Meanwhile, industry insiders have been whispering about possible behind-the-scenes power struggles that may have contributed to this situation. Some speculate that the pressure of fame, money, and old loyalties clashed in a deadly cocktail, leading to this explosive fallout. And guess what? The scandal has also dragged in some unexpected names. Reports suggest that a few record label executives may have had a hand in suppressing evidence or discouraging witnesses from speaking out. Leaked emails hint at meetings where strategies to manage the narrative were discussed extensively. What does all this mean for Lil Durk? Public opinion has become a battlefield. Some fans are defending him fiercely, claiming he's being unfairly targeted by association, while others are demanding answers and accountability, no matter how close to home it hits. But the consequences don't stop at social media drama. Rumors of an impending federal investigation have begun swirling. Law enforcement sources, speaking under condition of anonymity, confirm that multiple agencies are taking a keen interest in the financial trails and the audio leak itself. If these investigations move forward, we could see subpoenas, arrests, and court battles that will dominate headlines for months to come. As the heat rises, pressure is mounting on the record labels, promoters, and sponsors connected to the people implicated. Some have quietly started distancing themselves, wary of the reputational damage. Industry insiders tell us that contract renegotiations and partnership freezes are already underway. And then there's the community backlash. Local leaders and advocacy groups have spoken out, demanding transparency and justice for King Von and all those affected by the ongoing scandal. This is not just about music or fame. One activist said, "This is about the integrity of our neighborhoods and the truth being buried under greed and betrayal." It's clear this scandal is bigger than anyone anticipated. The leaked audio has cracked open a Pandora's box filled with lies, secrets, and betrayal. The ramifications are only beginning to unfold, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Before we move on to the final part, here's a cliffhanger for you. What happens when the system meant to protect justice is allegedly complicit in silencing it? Will truth prevail, or will this cover-up succeed in burying the real story forever? What happens when the very system built to uphold justice starts looking like the biggest accomplice in a massive cover-up? That's the question shaking up the streets, courtrooms, and every social media feed right now. The explosive audio leak involving Durk's brother isn't just some backstage drama. It's a full-blown scandal that threatens to dismantle careers, reputations, and maybe even the entire music industry's trust in the justice system. Since the leak went public, rumors of federal investigations have morphed into concrete moves behind the scenes. Multiple agencies, including the FBI and local prosecutors, are reportedly combing through financial transactions linked to Durk's brother, tracing the suspicious money flows through offshore accounts and shell companies. This isn't just about music money anymore. This looks like an organized crime investigation dressed up in the guise of hip-hop drama. Court insiders whisper about sealed indictments that could be unsealed any day now. And if those indictments mention Durk's brother by name, brace yourselves. We might be on the cusp of the most explosive trial in recent hip-hop history. This isn't some petty feud or street beef. This is alleged corruption, bribery, witness tampering, and worst of all, a cover-up of a murder case that rocked an entire city. The backlash is global. Fans who once jammed to Lil Durk's tracks are now split. Some refuse to believe that family could be involved in such betrayal, holding on to hope that this is all smoke and mirrors. Others are calling for boycotts, protests, and full transparency. Hashtags like hashtag Justice for Vaughn and hashtag Expose the Truth are trending nonstop. The controversy has even caught the attention of celebrities and influencers who are weighing in with fiery takes that only add fuel to the already blazing fire. Record labels are in crisis mode. Behind closed doors, executives are scrambling to manage the fallout. Contracts are being reviewed, sponsorship deals paused, and marketing campaigns shelved. The fear is real. Association with such a scandal could mean millions lost and brand images tarnished beyond repair. Some insiders hint at emergency meetings to decide whether to cut ties completely or whether to storm with damage control. But what about Durk's brother? His world has flipped upside down overnight. Once seen as a loyal family man, he's now facing public vilification and possible criminal charges. Reports indicate he has hired a high-profile legal team, desperate to push back against these allegations. But even with the best lawyers money can buy, the mountain of evidence, especially that audio leak, is a tough opponent. Adding to the tension, sources say there's internal family turmoil brewing. Lil Durk himself has been noticeably quiet amid the chaos, sparking rumors about strained relationships and trust issues. Some close to the family say the scandal has fractured bonds that once seemed unbreakable, leaving a trail of heartbreak and suspicion in its wake. And then there's the community, the very people who idolized King Von and trusted the voices telling their stories. The outrage is palpable. Local leaders are calling for independent investigations, community hearings, and new policies to prevent this kind of betrayal from ever happening again. This isn't just about one family or one case. An activist said, this is about restoring faith in a system that's failed so many. As the dust settles, the bigger question remains. Will the truth finally see the light of day, or will it be buried deeper beneath layers of corruption and fear? History has shown us time and again that money and influence can often tip the scales of justice. But this time, with millions watching and the stakes higher than ever, the pressure is mounting to hold everyone accountable. The scandal has also sparked broader conversations about loyalty, fame, and the dangerous crossroads where family ties meet criminal enterprise. How do you reconcile love and betrayal when the lines blur so dangerously? How does a community heal when those closest to the pain may have been complicit in hiding it? And of course, there's the media frenzy. Every outlet from major networks to underground blogs is racing to get the latest scoop, the juiciest detail, the exclusive interview. But in the sea of sensationalism, the real story risks getting lost. That's why you need a place that cuts through the noise and gets to the raw truth, because the people deserve nothing less. So now it's your turn. What do you think? Is this scandal the unraveling of criminal empire, or just another chapter in a long saga of hip-hop drama? Can justice prevail when the system itself seems compromised? And most importantly, what will happen to Lil Durk, his brother, and the legacy of King Von? If you want to stay ahead of the curve and hear the breaking truths others are afraid to tell, hit that like button, comment your hottest take below, and don't forget to subscribe. Because here on this channel, we're spilling all the tea, uncovering all the secrets, and bringing you the real stories behind the headlines. Remember, the truth is out there, but only if you're willing to dig for it. Now that you've heard the full story, we want to ask you, are you ready to face the truth? Do you think justice will finally be served? Or is this cover-up only going to get deeper? Is Durk's brother truly guilty? Or is this all just another twisted conspiracy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're dying to hear what you think. And if you found this video eye-opening, don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss out on our breaking scandals, shocking revelations, and all the viral stories we bring straight to you. This channel is your front line for the truth. No secrets, no sugarcoating. Stay tuned, because the next big bombshell is just around the corner. This story isn't over yet. It's only getting started. Would you like it more casual, more dramatic, or something else?